practice.
This is Justin.
And Theresa.
You're listening to a Perfect Mess podcast.
On today's episode, I was like, literally, there's just this giant bouncing anime nest in front of me. As there's pop-ups that like, as there's pop-ups of like, 4235 have sent me a message.
She did.
All right, well, we're back. Perfect Mess, new episode. Hi. I'm not a good intro person.
I thought that was pretty good.
Okay, well.
We'll get you there.
I'm Theresa.
And I'm Justin.
We're back.
Yep.
After last episode's eventful Event Horizon discussion, I have been allowed back.
I feel like I'm in for it today. For a few reasons. I think reason number one is my movie choice for today's, what are we doing, made-for-TV movies?
Made-for-TV movies.
Number one is my movie choice. And number two, I literally just berated Theresa for 40 minutes for not liking Event Horizon.
Yeah. We're doing a double recording today, so we just recorded the Event Horizon.
So I feel like I'm in for it.
So we're doing made-for-TV movies. I had to do a little research about this one, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Because a lot of my made-for-TV movie knowledge was like, the Lifetime, I slept with my husband stalker.
Yeah.
Dramaticals.
I understand.
And we also only picked 2 movies each this time.
We did. We did only do 2 movies each.
Because we were afraid of the length of some of the movies. But to be honest, the length of all of the movies was okay, except for one of my choices, which was very, very long.
It was. So before we even say what our movies were, when you hear made for TV, what do you expect from a made from TV movie?
I expect a lot of drama.
Me too.
I expect borderline crummy-ish acting.
I agree.
And I expect a general sense of cheesiness.
True. I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Sometimes you get those gems, though.
Yeah. I would say I would expect a lot of overacting, and I would expect some low budget, make do with what you have moments.
And in general, not just like the horror movie made for TV.
But anytime there's anything.
Yeah, which they don't really do a lot of made-for-TV movies these days.
No.
Because now there's the Hallmark Channel and the Lifetime Movie Channel, so everything's kind of filtered onto there.
Let's call it for what it is. Everything's reality TV.
Yeah.
So
but
there's no
when we were growing up, you had the ABC movie of the week.
Yeah.
If there was a super huge news story, you knew that there was going to be a TV movie.
Yeah.
So P.S. when I was a kid, you remember the story about baby Jessica that fell in the well?
No.
You might be a little too young for that.
I'm listening though.
So there was this toddler in Texas in the mid 80s, and she
surprise.
She fell into a well, and I don't mean a drinking well. It was basically a fucking, just a teeny tiny little hole, and she was trapped in there for 4 days. It was a big deal, or 2 days, something.
Wasn't there an episode of The Simpsons where Bart hides a walkie-talkie?
And he gets stuck in there. It's loosely based on that. And then they made a TV. I was obsessed with that TV movie when I was a kid. That, and again, if anybody grew up in the 80s, there was this big surrogacy situation and custody fight over this baby, and her name was in the newspapers. Her name was Baby M, and they did a made-for-TV movie on that. And oh my God, I watched the Baby M made-for-TV movie so many times. Sidetrack, I know, but still.
I remember The Shining, made for TV.
Oh, I have that on video somewhere.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
That was pretty decent.
Except I might have just thrown it out because I just threw out all my videotapes, unfortunately.
And I remember when I was in 2nd grade, it was either Fox or UPN did a made-for-TV called the McPherson Tapes. About
this is the alien one.
The alien one where the family gets invaded by aliens.
I never watched those things because I was always afraid of alien abductions when I was a kid. No, I remember watching a lot of the stalker, I'm just gonna stalk your daughter, I kidnapped the baby from the hospital kind of made for TV movies. Mm-hmm. I used to love those. So good. So, anyway, but we did
full disclosure, the reason why I brought this up is purely to talk about Rosemary's Baby 2. because I forget
and when he suggested this, I was kind of like, where can you really go with like
YouTube.
made for TV horror movies? No, I just meant in general. Like I was like, I don't really know that many. Like one of the movies I picked, I was like, I don't even know if you could like call it a horror movie.
I forget where I was even looking where I saw that they made a Rosemary's Baby 2. And then and when I eventually found it,
whatever happened to
Rosemary's Baby? When I eventually found it on YouTube, whoever uploaded it has an entire playlist of all these like 70s and 80s made for TV horror movies.
Is that where you found the other one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I was like, I don't understand where
I even thought of this?
I was like, he's not old enough to have watched it on TV, and I highly doubt either of these movies ever would have been replayed on television.
Nope, never.
So, Justin, tell the kids at home what your 2 movies were.
My 2 movies are, drumroll, Rosemary's Baby 2, a.k.a. Whatever Happened to Rosemary's Baby, and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, from, I believe, 1973.
Yes. And my 2 movies were The Duel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the year off the top of my head, but it was early 70s.
Yeah.
Because it was before Jaws. And the Helter Skelter miniseries from 1974.
It was a miniseries.
Yeah, it was a miniseries.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It was actually like a 2-night like event.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
So, those were my choices.
Teresa, I just gave you a hard time about Event Horizon. What do you want to do first?
I don't, it doesn't matter to me, honestly.
Pick one.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just get Duel out of the way.
You want to do Duel?
Let's just get it out of the way. Now, when I picked Duel, so Duel, for those of you that don't know, is by Steven Spielberg. I think it's his first.
It was his first.
Like, major movie.
It was his very first movie.
And he has said that after he directed this movie, this is the movie that proved to him that he would be able to make Jaws.
And I believe that.
It's a movie about a guy pretty much driving home in like this rural, mountainy Texas kind of back roads, and he just starts getting stalked by this man in like this creepy, like, I don't want to say monster truck because it's not a monster truck.
No, it's like an old, I don't even know what year it could be.
I don't know, like I can't think of the word to describe it. It's like a delivery truck. Like the trucks that you would see on the highway, like when you're driving down the highway.
It's like a gas truck. It's the type of truck that would pull into an Exxon and refill the entire Exxon station. Yes. But the truck is really old. The truck
very rusty.
The truck reminded me of Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
That's what. So imagine a tractor trailer Jeepers Creepers truck.
And the entire movie, which is about an hour and 20 minutes, I would think.
Okay.
Right? Am I right or am I off? I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes.
I don't remember complaining about this being too long.
The entire movie is literally this man being, like, chased by this truck. And I said to myself when I picked it, I was like, there's going to be no middle ground for Justin with this movie. He's either going to love this movie and think it's one of the greatest things he's ever seen, or he's going to hate it. And he's going to trash it the entire time. Go ahead.
So at the beginning, when the truck first starts like messing with him, they don't make it clear that the truck has an actual driver. You don't see the driver's face.
Yes.
My first thought was, didn't we just do monster trucks driving themselves? And I was about to be really mad that we're going to do like another Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, because we did Maximum Overdrive, it's going to be 2 episodes ago.
And I realized at the second pass, because I wrote it down, that they show the truck driver's face.
You never actually really see his face.
You have no idea who's driving the truck.
You get a very, like, quick, like, glance.
You see, like, a minor silhouette.
But you see, like, at one point they just show you his feet. One point they show you, like, his arm. You don't really see his face, though.
Do you think I could wear boots?
Do I think you could wear boots? No.
I don't think I could wear boots.
No, because you don't really wear jeans.
No, I'll wear jeans.
But not jeans that you would wear with boots.
Boots, yeah.
With, like, cowboy boots.
The only thing that you see is the driver's boots. And as he's walking around, I was like, I wonder if I could wear boots.
I can't. Did you ask your wife this question?
No.
Can we get her in here for a minute and ask her? Can we do a little segue?
No.
Why?
No.
I would love to see her reaction when you ask. I'm gonna text it to her as we're as we're
Text her.
recording.
Justin wants to know if he thinks he can get away with wearing boots.
Not just boots though, cowboy boots.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Before I say anything else, I understand 100% why all the nerds in film school like this movie. Spielberg did a very good job with making mundane things seem very, very interesting. There is a scene where he's in a laundromat and someone opens up the washer door and the camera pans through the glass of the washing machine to try to focus on something outside. And a lot of the shots were like very obscure or weird, where the camera was mounted on a certain angle on a certain part of the car or the truck.
Spielberg has a very distinct...
Yeah, it was a weird flex.
Yeah.
That's what this comes down to. I see why this made him popular, because he made a movie about a truck passing a car and then the car passing the truck. He made that seem interesting and suspenseful.
Yeah.
So I understand why people would like this movie. Things I enjoyed. I like when the red car passes the truck. Things I didn't like is I didn't like when the truck...
That's the only thing you liked?
I didn't like when the truck passed the red car.
Oh, I hate you. You didn't, like, there was nothing relatable about this movie?
I have seen...
I felt like parts of this movie was like my life when I'm driving on the open road.
I have seen episodes of Mr. Bean with better dialogue than this movie.
Well, but it's not a movie that's supposed to be driven by dialogue. It's not supposed to be. Fucking Mr. Bean.
The entire movie.
Do you remember the Mr. Bean episode where he met the Queen? Or was like supposed to be that he met the Queen?
No.
Oh my god, it was so funny. That in the episode... Oh, now we're on Mr. Bean. That in the episode when he was in the restaurant. He was in like a restaurant. I just remember that at one point he ordered anchovies and he didn't realize he ordered anchovies and he started to eat them and he made like the Mr. Bean face and tried to hide them. It was
I used to watch Mr. Bean with my great-grandmother on Channel 13.
I used to love Mr. Bean. All right, anyway, back to Duel. But you didn't find it like relatable in any aspect?
Did you ever see Falling Down? The movie Falling Down?
No.
The beginning of Falling Down, it's about a guy that goes nuts because he's sitting in traffic.
Oh! With what's his face? Not Nicolas Cage. Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, but I was shown by my sister and my brother-in-law the clip of him in the fast food place the other day.
Yeah. This entire movie is the first, 5 minutes of that.
Really?
It's legit. The red car passes the truck passes the red car. They never show the truck driver's face. That pissed me off.
Really?
Yeah, I was pissed at that.
So apparently the truck driver was actually a serial killer. And that's why...
Wouldn't know.
But didn't you notice how they continually did the shot of all of the license plates on the front of the car?
Yeah.
The front of the truck? So apparently...
That's supposed to be his kills?
Yeah. Like when he would murder somebody, he would then take the license plate from their car and put it on his truck.
Wouldn't that be a dead giveaway, though?
Well, you're not gonna, but he's not registering the car.
Yeah, but if I went missing and you saw a truck driving that had my license plate on it.
But these trucks drive all up and down all around the United States. It doesn't mean, just because he may have killed you on the Southern State Parkway, it doesn't mean that in, 2 hours he's still going to be on the Southern State Parkway. He could be in, I don't know, I was going to say Idaho, but that's completely unrealistic.
On the fact that he was a serial killer. As much as it pains me to admit it, I did enjoy the scene where he's in the diner.
Oh, and he's trying to figure out which one it is.
The guy that drives the red car gets chased off the road, crashes into some bullshit fence, stumbles into a diner to collect himself. And as he's sitting there, the evil truck pulls up, or the truck is already there. I forget what happens.
It was like he kind of was sitting in the diner.
And then he noticed.
And then all of a sudden he looked up and noticed that the truck was outside.
And then he's trying to figure out who in the diner is the driver of this truck. That was kind of cool. But otherwise, the entire movie is just, passing the truck again. Truck's passing him again.
You didn't like the scene with the school bus?
I thought that was funny how the truck fucks with him by helping the school bus.
I know.
Otherwise,
You didn't like the scene with the old lady with all the snakes? You ran over my snakes!
I got nervous. I thought he was going to run over the dog.
I did get nervous about that as well.
And that's like the rule.
Yeah, and yeah, I did get nervous about that too.
I found the movie overall to be kind of uneventful, to be honest. I understand why people would really like this movie because of Spielberg's direction of what was going on. But
sometimes I feel like Spielberg could make like dog shit look good.
But that's exactly what this is. I'm not saying it's dog shit, but it's a red car passes a truck, and the truck passes the red car.
This movie was actually nominated for an Emmy, Golden Globe, something like that.
For acting?
No, for like best movie.
I wouldn't give it best movie.
It didn't win.
I'd say he did a stellar job directing because he literally turned nothing into really good scenes. I'll give it that. This is a collection of good scenes.
And there's not like one known actor in this movie at all.
Well, there's only one actor.
Well, there was more than one actor. There were other people in the movie.
There was the guy that drives the red car.
It was a Golden Globe nominee, Best Made for TV Movie.
There's the guy that drives the red car. There's the...
And it won...
Four guys at the diner.
It won the Emmy
There's
for...
the waitress at the diner.
Outstanding film editing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't... Yeah.
Sound editing, I meant.
That deserves that.
The sound was very good in this movie. But yeah, Primetime... Yeah, no, it was nominated for some shiznat.
What really boggles my mind is this is based off of a story or a book. I don't understand how this could be...
Was it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Boggles my mind how this could be a novel.
I can't see it being a novel. I could see it being like a short story.
Or like, how would you like transcribe this?
You could maybe get a good 50 pages out of this for
vroom,
a short story.
like.
Oh my God, Justin! Did you literally just go vroom? I'm sure that the story is all like one person point of view from the driver.
Yeah, but it's
I can't believe you just said
there's that fucking
vroom.
truck again. Let me see if I can pass that fucking truck. I passed that truck. Chapter 3. That fucking truck's gonna pass me. Duel, I gave it a 5 out of 12. Just, there really wasn't much going on, to be honest. What was there, the 5 points that it earned is just the directing and the shots and the editing, and I just like a little bit more meat and substance, I guess.
All right. I wouldn't rate it high. Like, I think I'd give it a 6, maybe a 7. You know? I mean, I enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. If this was like a 20-minute, like, short thing, it would be very good.
Okay.
Or if you cut it up into pieces, I think it would be more easily to digest, but I wouldn't suggest to sit there for an hour and a half and watch it.
It does move at times a little slow. But I mean, I didn't mind it.
Okay.
Like I said, I felt it was a decently suspenseful watch. I didn't go into it looking for anything crazy or, you know, like looking for this truck to be like running over people or anything like that, you know. And P.S. apparently the sound that the truck makes at the end, like when it gets blown up or whatever, that's the same sound that Spielberg used when the shark died at the end of Jaws.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Clever.
Yeah.
Little callback.
Yep. All right, Justin. Which one of yours would you like to do first?
Let's pull this Band-Aid off. I feel like I had this coming. Whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby?
Whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby? So at the end of Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary comes into the neighbor's house with a knife, fully intent on finding where her baby is and taking her baby and killing everybody. She finds all the creepy old Satanists.
Do you really think she would have killed everybody, though?
I think she would have to get her baby.
I don't think she would have it in her.
If you'd be surprised what a mother would do for their kid. Not that
I know in reality, but in that movie with the person that Rosemary was. But carry on. I don't want to sidetrack.
She sees a black bassinet, and you know one of the creepy old women are rocking it ridiculously. And basically, the Satanists decide they want to get Rosemary to be the mom of the baby. She looks down. Oh my God! What'd you do to his eyes? Why does he have hoofs? Realizes it's not a normal baby.
They don't say anything about hoofs.
Didn't they?
Nope. It's what did you do to It's all about his eyes.
I know. I remember his eyes. They didn't say hoofs.
Nope.
Maybe Where did I get that from?
I don't know. I know that for a fact because I stole that for a King Lizard song.
Of course you did.
I did.
Okay, anyway. So this movie picks up. I feel like in the very beginning it did pick up right after that.
It picks up,
and then it kind of time jumps.
So the movie is in thirds. The first time I watched it, I didn't pick up on this.
It's kind of like books in the Bible.
Yes. So the first part is the book of
Adrian.
No.
Yeah, wasn't it?
The book
was it Rosemary?
Book of Rosemary is the first part.
So it was the Book of Rosemary, the Book of Adrian, and the Book of Andrew. So the Satanists call the baby Adrian. Mm-hmm. Rosemary calls the baby Andrew.
Yep.
So flash forward to the kid's maybe five-ish years old.
Yeah.
Guy has taken off.
He's in
Hollywood, living the dream. He's still such a dick. Like, he was a dick in the first movie, and he's still a dick in this movie.
Yes.
They bring back Minnie, the old woman, which made me really happy.
Right? Minnie and the other old guy.
It was the same old guy, right?
It was the same old guy.
I feel like in the very beginning it was, but then I feel like towards the end it was someone different.
It was the same.
Okay.
Was Guy the same? I don't think he was.
I don't think so. I think the old couple were the only...
The old couple were definitely the same.
The woman who played Rosemary was flat out awful.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Honestly.
So the old couple were definitely the same. Whoever played Guy, I think he did a good job of playing Guy. Whoever played Rosemary was atrocious. That I'll admit.
That I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. The guy that played the grown-up Adrian was not terrible.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Whatever Happened to Rosemary's Baby. It's actually called Look What Happened
okay.
to Rosemary's Baby. You want to know something that's really funny? And you're going to roll your eyes at me for bringing this up. But I feel like had this movie have been made in like the late 90s or like early 2000s, Matthew McConaughey would have been amazing as the older Adrian. He's rolling his eyes at me. But all I kept thinking was, oh my God, Matthew McConaughey would have been so good in this part. And the movie would have been 1,000 times better. What am I looking up? I'm looking up if the guy that plays Guy is still the same. Guy Woodhouse.
Guy Woodhouse.
No, he is not the same. It's a different person. So it's the baby's birthday. Mm-hmm. And Rosemary decides that she's going to take the baby and run.
Yeah.
The Satanists... Now, I found it really interesting that she ran into a Jewish temple.
Yeah.
Or like a Jew, I don't know if it was a temple or like just, she ran into where they were like practicing some sort of Jewish religion. And I actually made a note to like look up like the relationship between like the Jewish religion and like Satan. And they don't make as big of a deal out of it as the Christians.
Not at all. It's not really the same. The Christians really made it up.
Yeah.
But
made it up?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, we're not going into a
more or less
theological discussion that Satan is fucking made up, Justin.
Well, it is.
Enough.
It is. It's funny because when they're trying to locate Rosemary and Adrian, they can't identify if they're in a church or if they're in a storefront. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a temple. It's like
because they start like calling him.
Yeah, the best way I could explain it is one of those like, I have to be careful with my wording, but with one of those pop-up churches that are in a storefront.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about in like the city?
Yeah,
where someone wants to start a church. And
I almost thought that at first that they were doing they were sitting Shiva. Like that's what it looked like to me at first. Mm-hmm. You know what that is, right?
No.
Shiva is when somebody in the Jewish religion passes away.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have like a wake.
Yeah.
You know, you go to the family's house, and that's what I thought that it was, actually. I thought that they were, like, sitting Shiva for somebody. My other thing was, so it looked like they kept making Adrian drink. You remember in the movie, they kept making Rosemary drink, like, this... Yeah, certain... the milk concoction with the tannis root.
The tannis was the thing.
And then it looks like they had Adrian drinking it also. But when he left with his mom, he kind of started to freak out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And his mom gave him milk. So I was like, does he need to like drink this in order to not completely go evil? Or like, maybe I just read too much into it. Yeah. So they go to start to run away. Now the Satanists call Guy and they're like, she's coming. and remember what we did for you. And when she comes, you better tell us. And, he, of course, tries to use some leverage and is like, hey, get me another good part in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And as she's on the phone with Guy, Adrian gets into a fight, little kid Adrian, with some other kids. And at first it makes it seem like he killed the kids.
He did.
He did, right?
He did.
But then at a different point, the kids got up and walked away.
He snapped
their necks.
He snapped one of their necks.
I was very intrigued by that because I was like, but wait a minute. This looks like he just killed them, but now they're getting up and they're walking away, which brings this other woman into play.
So Rosemary has some accomplice or aide to help them escape, but the accomplice or aide double crosses Rosemary and takes Adrian.
She's really one of the
Satanists.
That's one thing that annoyed me about this movie was like they twisted everybody.
What do you mean?
So there was this woman in the beginning, and they twisted her, and she was a Satanist. And then there was this doctor when you get to like Andrew's book.
Oh,
and,
I see what you're saying.
Then they twisted her.
They have
she
people everywhere.
Yeah, like that kind of annoyed me. Like those things in movies annoy me when it's just like, okay, you're gonna trust this person. Oh, there they go again. Now they're not really good. Like, I don't like the overuse of it in movies.
Did you watch this movie through the YouTube link that I'd sent you?
Yes, which was not good. There's really no other way to watch it, though.
I agree.
Because I looked for it.
Yeah. I did kind of like the VHS distortion.
It was very gritty.
Yeah.
And the colors were very VHS-y.
It like waves at certain points. Now, I'm not sure if that's done intentionally, because when it distorts, it seems to correlate to like really messed up points in the movie.
Okay. All right. I would give you that. So I'm not going to lie. I was enjoying this movie.
Okay. Up until what point?
Up until the Book of Adrian.
Really?
Up until about the middle of the Book of Adrian. Then it kind of jumped the shark.
See, I would disagree. I think the first third, the Book of Rosemary, is the worst part of the movie.
I didn't mind that part, even though I hated Rosemary, and I hated how they had her on the bus, and then that was it.
Yeah. See, I accept that it was just a setup for the rest of the movie, and I understand why they can't just rush through it, but I didn't think it was the best part of the movie.
Okay.
But you didn't like the middle?
Okay.
Book of... What was it?
The Book of Adrian.
Yeah.
So here's what annoyed me about the Book of Adrian. So Adrian grows up, and he's a musician. Right? Or like a producer.
He's just like some...
Yeah, he's something in the music industry, but he's well off, and he's well known, and he's obviously
He lives
wealthy.
in like... I'm not sure if it's like a hotel or a casino.
No, I took it to be like a mansion.
A mansion.
Yeah.
He lives in this place with all these other people with his
the woman who had kidnapped him, who is now, quote unquote, his aunt.
Yeah, she's now his aunt. He's well-to-do with, there's like a band that plays every night. There's a casino in there. Because it shows them gambling.
Yes.
At like a craps table.
I took it to be that he was like
a
record producer.
Whatever.
Something
they
like
do
that.
mention him singing.
Yes. So it's his birthday, and he had tried to like leave the town or whatever in the beginning. That's not what he was doing when he was driving. He wants to leave, though.
No.
Yes, he does. He wants to leave.
No, he didn't. He was just fucking around.
No, but then he starts talking to his aunt about how he wants to go and he wants to like go somewhere else, and the aunt's like, no.
Okay. All right. I must have missed that.
With his friend. There's a friend who ironically is named Peter, and I tried to look up significance of that in the Bible also, and apparently Peter is like the guy that Jesus gave the keys to heaven to.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not all up on my Bible-ness. Okay?
So there's a very obvious good versus evil aspect in the second chapter of this movie, or the middle part of this movie.
Yes.
This Peter character tries to keep Adrian or Andrew out of trouble.
And then you can tell that Peter knows what's
Yeah.
really going on.
Yeah, he's sent there by somebody. He's apparently like the counter of the Satanists.
Yes. So the aunt's like, oh, you know, your what do they call him, his godparents?
Yeah.
The old couple are coming tonight. It's your birthday. They have something special for you. So apparently this birthday is a big deal, and this is supposed to be the night that, like, he becomes Satan. but he hasn't killed anybody. So they don't think it's going to happen. So they have him laying down on this thing in this, like, getting ready to do this like satanic ritual or whatever. But this for me is where the movie jumped the shark. His face is painted completely white.
Okay.
With black little circles above his... He looks like a goddamn mime. And then he goes into the other room where the music's playing, and there's this weird 60s-ish psychedelic scene where he's, like, dancing, and there's the music, and you see, like, Peter's trying to get to him, and Peter's chasing Guy, who was told he had to... And at that point, I was like, no.
Really?
I just thought it was very ridiculous. I thought that the way that they made him look was very ridiculous. Like, I thought the whole dance scene was ridiculous.
All right.
I was just like...
I'll give you that. It was a little over the top.
I was like, no, I'm done. I was really enjoying it up until that part.
So they had to conduct this ritual for it to, like, finalize everything up to this point. They don't know if it'll stick because he hasn't, by choice, killed somebody yet. And the old couple, the Satanists, they mention a few times that they can take what they need and just eliminate the shell.
Yeah.
Which I was very like, what does that mean? Like, what do they need out of this kid?
And they basically, when they realized he didn't kill anybody, they wanted Guy to kill him so they could get whatever it was that they needed.
Yeah. And
I was intrigued by that too, about what it was that they actually needed.
So they go along with the ritual anyway, just to see what would happen. And this ritual is when they paint him white, they put red circles on his eyelids. They did do a poor job of this because it's supposed to be when he closes his eyes, and it's supposed to look like red pupils.
Really?
Yep, that's what it's supposed to be.
On my TV, it looked black.
They're red.
Maybe from like the I don't know. It just
and
was,
then
it came off very silly to me.
And then him going into the dancing, the music was pretty good. Don't even tell me the music was
good.
was good. Him like dancing is supposed to be him taking in the powers, and it's supposed to be like, oh wow, it actually worked. A storm comes, a power line falls, Guy picks up a live power wire and electrocutes Peter. That was a little much for me because I'm pretty sure that would kill Guy.
It would kill Guy.
Yeah, it would kill Guy.
Because it wasn't just like, it was like a power wire.
Yeah. And then...
That snaps Adrian, like, out of it. Because he watches...
And then again, he wakes up.
The whole good versus evil thing, when Peter gets electrocuted, they, like, propel him up and have, like, this halo of light around him, like, very Jesus-esque on the cross. I mean, they did try to have that, like, subtle throw-in to that. But to me, that whole part was just very ridiculous. Okay,
I give you that. The third chapter is the Book of Andrew, which has him waking up in a mental asylum, like hospital thing.
And by this point, when he wakes up, he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that these people are, like,
but then they tell him that he's, like, crazy.
Yes. Then they're telling him it's just trauma because he watched his friend be killed. Yeah. And he befriends this nurse.
Mm-hmm. The nurse is also in with the Satanists.
Which you don't realize until later.
And she breaks him free. And her thing is, it didn't really work. And what they did to your mom was wrong. And what they'll do is the two of them will conceive a child. And then that will be the new...
Which I actually thought at first, when they did the hotel scene where, like, she was going to conceive the kid with him, I actually didn't put two and two together that she was with the original group. I thought that she was, like, on, like, a breakaway group, and they were kind of like...
I got that too.
Guess what? Now we're going to get seen. Yeah. And because then there's, like, this whole thing with, like... a car, and like the car starts running over people, and it turns out it's Guy, and now Guy is dead, and he runs over the girl.
The Satanists sent the two old people. They sent Guy to kill him. Remember?
Yes.
And Guy tries to run him over in a black car that somehow looks like the toy car.
But Andrew was also coming for Guy. because he knew that guy killed Peter.
Yeah.
So he had two things he wanted to do. Number one, he remembered the vision of his mother in the bus.
Yep.
So he wanted to find her. And number two, he wanted to go and kill Guy for killing his friend. But Guy got there first, and Guy obviously ended up dying. Was it by Peter? It wasn't by Peter.
Guy ends up dying from the car crash because Guy, while trying to kill Adrian in the black car, crashes into something else.
But why do I feel like it was inadvertently because of Adrian, and I was like, oh, well, maybe they'll count that as like his bloodletting, and no? Okay.
No, he crashes into something else.
Okay. So Adrian also ends up getting killed.
No.
Yeah,
no.
he died.
At the end, he hooks up with
The
nurse.
The nurse.
They don't make it clear what happens to the nurse, but what happens to the nurse?
You don't remember the very end of the movie?
I remember they show Adrian just walking like he's alone.
Did we see different ends of the movie? That's not the ending that I saw.
What did you see?
The ending that I saw, Minnie and the guy are in a doctor's office. They call them back, and they start basically talking about the pregnancy and how she's okay and the pregnancy's viable, and they pan, and it's the girl. That's where it ended for me.
Oh, you gotta keep watching.
No, that was it. It was done. There was nothing else.
After that, it pans to Adrian, and he's just walking along the side of some highway as if he's like used and forgotten, and like he looks like just some junkie.
Is this like after the credits?
It's as the credits are rolling.
I didn't see it. Intriguing.
Yeah, that's how it ends. Like he's fulfilled his use, and he's just kind of cast to the side.
Interesting. Not that it would have changed much for me, honestly. I was very annoyed that they never answered the Rosemary's question. That, like, they reopened it and never...
What do you mean?
The fact... They made it seem like I assumed that she was killed. Mm-hmm. But then they kind of quickly reopened it and was like, I need to go find my mom. I know she's out there. I need to find...
she's dead.
But I just feel like, why even mention it then if she was supposed to be dead? You know, because I was then thinking, okay, now we're going to go on this quest to find Rosemary. They're going to find Rosemary and she's going to, like, help him.
Nah.
So that kind of annoyed me.
What did you think of the movie overall? Because I gave this 2 scores.
I mean, I'm indifferent. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
I understand how you feel.
Like I said, I enjoyed probably about a half of it, and I hated the second half.
I think this movie is 100% fan service. I think this movie does a terrible job of being
I think any fan wanted a sequel, though.
No. Well, it doesn't do a good job of being as suspenseful as the original. Mm-mm. You can't even put them in the same category.
No.
It does kind of fill the void that the first one leaves you in, to let you know, like, what happened, what does this kid look like. That's what the movie does.
Okay. I get that.
If you're not a diehard fan of Rosemary's Baby, I would give this movie a 5 out of 12. Just because if you were to just watch it, like, all right, whatever.
What do you mean, though? I don't understand.
Like, you and I like Rosemary's Baby. If you're just, like, a regular fan of horror movies that you've never seen the original...
Because not for nothing, I would give this movie a 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like being a fan of Rosemary's Baby, I'd give this movie a 5.
Okay. Being a fan, I would give it a 9. Just for pure fan service, because it answers some questions that you're left with after the first movie.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just said that.
Why?
You gave this movie a 9.
Well, I also gave it a 5.
Because it answered a question that was left open-ended.
Yeah.
That's like saying, I'm going to give Halloween 2 a 10 because it explains why he went after Laurie Strode in Halloween 1.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I would agree with that, too.
No. What?
No.
What is wrong with you? No. I'd give it a 5.
Fair enough.
Like I said, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it.
5's kind of rough, though. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Because I
Out of 12?
I feel like 6 is the halfway marker.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we were going out of 10, if I would give it a 5 if we were going out of 10.
Would you say it sucked?
I wouldn't say that it sucked, but I would not watch it again.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
You know? Like, I have seen some very, what people consider terrible movies, but I watch them and become borderline obsessed with them because I'm just like, it has some sort of charming appeal. This did not.
Now that you say that, I wouldn't watch this again. However, I did see some charming appeal.
I would watch Duel again before I watch this, honestly.
I barely got through one viewing of Duel.
Of course you did.
Well, nothing happens in Duel.
All right. Let's not backtrack.
That being said, I'll come down to an 8 or a 7.
Yeah.
8 or a 7. You know,
I don't think I would be as angry with you as if you gave it a 7.
Yeah,
I could
come down to a 7.
I could see you justifying.
I can come down to a 7.
I can see you justifying a 7.
The beginning sucks. The first chapter sucks. He looks stupid in the makeup with the dance scene. Yeah, he kind of does.
That really just
he can't just pick up a wire and electrocute somebody. Yeah, 7. If you really liked Rosemary's Baby, it's a solid 7. I would say to watch it once and only once, just because it's on YouTube for free.
Giggles,
yeah, it's on YouTube for free. Yeah, 7 sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
So
before we go further, I have to pee again.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Okay, so should we just knock out Afraid of the Dark, or do you want to get into Helter Skelter? Helter Skelter was the longest movie.
Helter Skelter was the longest movie. You want to talk about Helter Skelter?
I don't care.
All right.
So Helter Skelter was basically the story
Don't care.
The Manson murders and the trial. It was based on the book written by the prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi, which, have you read the book?
No.
The book is very good.
Okay.
I've read it like 3 times. Not gonna lie, and this might sound bad, but when I was in high school, I had a slight obsession with the Manson murders.
Okay.
I found it very fascinating. Just the whole thing. Like, I did a paper on it for my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And it just really intrigued me how, number one, this guy got, Charles Manson, obviously, got these people to do all of these things.
Yeah.
And number two, how they were able to convict him when he really didn't do anything.
True.
I always found it very interesting.
I know you don't watch the Joe Rogan podcasts or listen to.
No.
But he had on somebody, he wrote a book about Charles Manson's and the involvement the CIA had with him in his life. Where basically, every time Charles Manson was arrested, he was released, and the CIA had knowledge and involvement with his release.
Do you think that's true, though?
Yes.
Because I feel like there's a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding Charles Manson.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know? Because he told, the last time he was released from prison, before the Manson murders, he basically looked at them and was like, don't let me out. He was like, do not let me out. He's like, I am now a product of the system. He's like, you are better off leaving me in jail. He said, don't let me out.
I also think that he learned how to play people, and he learned how to play the cameras, and he learned how to put on an act.
But learning how to play the cameras and all that stuff, that's a very common trait of a serial killer. Like, look at Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy had, like, a following.
Yeah.
You know? Even, oh, God, what the hell is his name?
But how many times did he escape?
Ted Bundy escaped once.
No, Manson.
Manson never escaped.
Yeah, he did.
Not from prison now. Not after the murders he
escaped.
did it. No. Ted Bundy escaped twice.
Yeah,
twice?
I know that.
Yeah. I don't think Manson ever escaped.
Okay.
I don't remember what I was just going to say. I was thinking of the comparison of Richard Ramirez. You know who he is?
No.
Richard Ramirez was a serial killer in California, I think. I think in the 80s.
Okay.
And same thing, when he got caught, he had like the following, you know, and it was like, oh my God, I love you. But he was like a straight up Satanist. That's a good book to read too. I read a book about him. I had a big serial killer thing when I was a teenager. I don't really know why. My parents were worried for a little while.
Did you ever write to them?
No, that's creepy.
Okay.
That's creepy. So, funny story though, because
funny story about writing letters to serial killers.
well, not really funny, but it's not funny at all.
But
when I watched this movie,
you wrote a few letters to.
I did not write any letters to serial killers, Justin. Like, dude. When I rewatched Helter Skelter,
Yeah.
I started Googling like Charles Manson and things like that again, and I looked into like his kids because he has 3 sons, 3 or 4.
Okay.
And one of them is still alive, and you know said how he never really wanted anything to do with his father, and then randomly contacted him, and he got this letter back from Charles Manson, and it just said something like, "Right on, man, right on," but like write like WRITE.
Yeah.
And like he never wrote back, and then Charles Manson died, and then he felt really bad. I was just like, that's so Manson. All right, so Helter Skelter, very long movie.
Yeah, that shit's 3 hours.
Well, it was actually 4 if you count commercials, but it was over a 2-night span. If you are not a fan of like courthouse and investigation kind of things, you won't like this. If you are looking for a movie that is going to kind of be the basis of like what the Manson murders were and what happened, if you're looking for something like that, this is not the movie to watch.
Yeah.
Honestly. There's tons of movies like that out there. They all suck. I'm not even kidding. I have not found a good one. And you know what? People want to sit here and talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I say, fuck that shit. That movie, overrated. Thank you. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Overrated. Brad Pitt was good, though, and Brad Pitt did deserve the Academy Award, but everything else was overrated.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Justin, go. You conceivably don't have a lot of notes.
I don't. Honestly, I think the movie did a good job of portraying what had happened and did a good job of documenting things. If you are a fan of like the Manson murders, I think it's worth a watch. If you're not a fan of the Manson murders, it's a 3-hour commitment.
The guy that played Charles Manson, though, was pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, all the actors were very good. Every storytelling aspect of this movie was spot on.
And I remember when I first tried to find this movie to watch it, I think I had rented it from Blockbuster. I didn't realize what it was, and my dad was like, "No." He goes, "You want the movie where the guy looks just like Charles Manson." He's like, "I'm telling you, he looks just like him." And I was like, "Okay." And that's how I knew, because on the cover there was the picture of him like in handcuffs, and I was like, "Oh, this has to be it. He looks just like Charles Manson."
That's the thing on Amazon where it says you can't watch this in your country.
Yes.
I was about to get a VPN just to watch this movie.
Yeah, we had a hard time finding it, which I didn't think that we were going to, because a couple of weeks ago it was streaming free on Prime.
A couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, which was why I was annoyed.
Really?
It was literally streaming for free on Prime a couple weeks ago.
I was a little annoyed at how difficult this was. I had to install Kodi on my computer.
If it makes you feel better, this makes up for the hell that I went through trying to watch the other movie, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, Are You Afraid of the Dark, whatever the hell it was called.
I gave you the link to watch the movie.
He gave
hold that thought. We'll get there.
Yeah. Like I said, if you are somebody who's looking for a straight-up story about what happened the nights of the Manson murders,
yeah,
this is not for you.
What happened the nights of... Yeah, no. This is more global than that.
It focuses more on like the investigation and everything, and the trial,
the community that was established before the murders. I did enjoy the court scenes. I did.
I was just about to say
I enjoyed the court scenes.
I
enjoyed the lawyer that Manson hired that kept objecting to everything.
Oh yeah, that guy was a dick.
Yeah, but I don't want to say effective, but it was entertaining to watch.
But what's so funny though is it all like really happened.
Yeah.
Like that one lawyer for one of the girls like was really killed.
Was killed?
Yeah. Don't you remember how they talked about how he disappeared?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh God, I don't remember what his name was, but he was the lawyer for one of the girls because there was Manson and then the three girls who were being tried at once.
Wasn't there
there was
additional
the guy,
people?
There was Tex Watson.
Yeah.
Who was like the ringleader, but don't you remember? Justin. He was down, when people started getting arrested, he went down to Texas, which is where he was from.
Yeah.
He was related somehow to somebody important.
Yeah.
And they were trying to extradite him, but they couldn't get him extradited.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the girls, Patricia Krenwinkel, I think it was, also flew down to like Arkansas. And it took them a little while to extradite her to get back also.
Did you watch Mindhunters?
Yeah, we watched it together. Oh no, we watched the first episode together.
Who was do you remember on Mindhunters, was it Tex that they talked to?
No, they talked to Manson.
No.
I don't think that they talked to Tex.
They talked to Manson and they made Manson out to be like just a little schmuck.
I was really pissed off with what they did because the previews for season 2 made it seem like Manson was going to play such a big role than it did, and I was really angry that it didn't.
And they made him out to be like a schmuck.
But the guy, again, though, that played Manson was awesome. And he is also the guy that played Manson, I think it was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But they also talked to some guy that also committed some murders for Manson.
I don't think it was Tex, though. Maybe it was Bobby Beausoleil.
Was that it? And they were like, cut the shit. You know damn well what you were doing. He wasn't in control of you. You knew. And he came clean to them.
It wasn't Tex.
No?
No. Like I said, it could have been Bobby Beausoleil, who's in prison. He's the guy that killed Gary Hinman.
Okay.
Apparently, like, chopped his head off, which is, like, the first not so much talked about big-time Manson family murder. Mm-hmm. It's kind of freaky how much I know about this, to be honest. I don't think it was. I'm gonna try to look it up. But yeah, if you are a person who enjoys like the courtroom dramas and things like that, and like background of things, you will really like this movie. If you're just looking for like something fluff and gore about the Manson murders, don't watch this.
I could not rate this movie. I didn't.
Really?
Well, for a few reasons. Number one, this is not easy to find.
It's not. I happen to have it on DVD, which I would have... Stupid me should have brought the DVD and just let you borrow it.
Yeah, that would have made my life easy.
Yeah.
Number two, if this is something that you're interested in, then you'll like the movie. If it's something that you're not interested in, then you won't like the movie. It's almost like the Rosemary's Baby movie that we watched.
This was so much better than Rosemary's Baby, though.
The production level was a lot better. I'll give you that. But similar to that, if that's your niche, if that's your thing, then you'll enjoy it.
I don't really think you can compare the two. Honestly, I just think that, like, Rosemary's Baby, look what happened to Rosemary's Baby. It was like cheesy.
Well, yeah, it was made for TV movie.
So was this. But this was probably a much bigger deal because it was only 5 years after.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
the production level, you could tell the
difference
in the production efforts that went into this movie.
Well, because it was a bigger storyline. You know, the book is really good though.
Should have got another drink.
Have some tea.
Maybe I will.
The book is really good though. And the book has pictures.
The book has pictures?
The book does have pictures.
Of what?
Crime scene photos.
Who is the one that said, it was like, I'm the devil, now give me your money?
No. I think it was Tex who was like, I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. Yeah. And I thought that the woman who played Susan Atkins in this movie was really good too.
All the actors and actresses were really good. They were very believable.
Yeah. You know, like when she did that whole like grand jury testimony thing, I really liked that part.
Sorry if I'm loud. I'm screaming into the mic from the side
As he pours his whiskey.
as I make a drink and slam into the mic stand that I said not to do.
I'll just wait for you to be ready.
Hold on.
That was a lot of fucking whiskey you put in there. I didn't realize that was old whiskey.
It wasn't.
What? Oh, you emptied that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I emptied that. Helter Skelter, I fucking balls. Spilled shit all over myself. I did enjoy the movie. I did. Again, I would have a hard time rating this because it's not your regular movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like this is like the quintessential, like, made-for-TV, big headline kind of movie.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 7. But you have to understand, I give it a 7 as somebody who is very interested and has read up a lot about and watched a lot of different things about the Manson murders.
I think that's a little tough on it. 3 hours in one sitting was not easy. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't mind that. I didn't mind that.
3 hours for me was not easy for this particular viewing experience. But I would give it a little bit. I would give it higher than a 7, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, okay.
If it's something that you're interested in, I would give it higher.
All right. Okay. So, Justin's second movie was called "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark." Now you're
really
not allowed.
Interested to see what you think.
You
of this
are
movie.
not allowed to yell at me about finding hard movies after the shit I went through to fucking watch this. So he gives me the link to some seedy ass site.
Apparently, it was Theresa's first day on the internet.
No, it's not my first day on the internet. Like,
okay, boomer.
I am not a boomer. Fuck you.
What did you have to do? Did you put another AOL CD in for 100 hours?
You're such a dick. So the first thing I tried to do is I tried to use... Shut up! I tried to use the browser on my Fire Stick so that I could play it on the TV because I don't like watching things on the computer.
Okay. I didn't know
Which
that,
is
but okay.
the screenshot that I had sent you.
Was from your TV?
Was from the TV.
Oh.
So every time I pressed play, I got this giant ass pop-up of some, like, anime girl's ass.
Wait, hold on. It's just... To preface, the website I sent you is just some bullshit seedy website.
Like, don't click anything else.
Yeah. However, they do have the movie for free, so you don't have to rent it.
Yes. And it was a good copy. It was a good copy.
I thought I was doing a good thing by giving you the link to this movie, so you don't have to rent it.
Listen, I don't mind. I'm going to be totally honest with you right now. I don't mind having to rent the movies.
Okay.
Like, I don't mind if I have to pay $3 for all 6 movies to rent them. I honestly don't. Because, number one, I hate watching movies on the computer. I know that you don't mind it.
No, I don't.
I hate it. Number 2, I don't like watching shitty copies of things. It gives me a headache, and it makes me want to vomit.
Okay.
So,
it was a VHS copy, but okay.
This was a good... Oh, no.
It was a VHS copy.
Okay, let me keep going with the story. So, I finally, the next day, turned on my computer. I was like, I'm just going to have to watch it on the fucking computer. Now, She's
like... do I really have to watch this with an anime ass? It was a pop-up. I'm like, just click the X.
He's like, click the button. I'm like, Justin, you don't understand. I'm clicking.
Maximize the screen. Don't touch anything.
I couldn't
You've been on the internet before.
I couldn't, because it was originally on the Fire Stick, I couldn't maximize the screen.
Yeah, okay.
And every time I clicked the anime ass away, it came back up. And I was like... Yeah. I was like, literally, there's just this giant bouncing anime ass in front of me. As there's pop-ups that, like... As there's pop-ups of, like, you know, Whore235 has sent me a message.
She did.
So the next day, I put it on my computer. Now, my computer, for some reason... My personal computer, I think that
I don't understand how you have such shitty, like, Wi-Fi.
I honestly don't... it's not the Wi-Fi, because everything else works fine. I think that it's... I just don't think that the network card or whatever component that is...
How old is your computer?
I don't know. That came with that computer...
Is it more than 5 years old?
I don't know. Maybe? No, I don't know. I really don't know. Listen, you know how sometimes, like, you buy things and they cut corners in places? I think the network card is somewhere that Dell cut a corner.
Okay, fair enough.
Honestly. So I started to watch it.
Yeah, this is Adele too.
Jesus fucking Christ, Justin. Can we just get on with it?
Remember, I just ran out of memory.
Yeah, he just ran out of memory. There you go.
Oh,
And not for nothing, the computer I had has like 100 some. It has really good memory, like terabytes.
yeah, this has like 3 King Lizard songs and 6 episodes of Us.
Okay, no, the computer that I have has a lot of memory, but
Huh.
a shitty
Wi-Fi
modem card, whatever. I put it on, I started to watch it, and then it would like stop and it would start to buffer, and I'd have to like go back to the beginning and reload and try to, and it was just, it was such a pain in the ass. And I was like, I'm Googling this, I will find a way to watch it.
And that's when you put the other AOL
I tried
CD
to
in.
put it on, shut up with the AOL CD. I tried to put it on the Fire Stick for
it's
Kodi,
100 hours.
it wasn't on Kodi. I finally found it where I could rent it on Google Play.
Yeah. It was on YouTube.
I had 20 minutes left. It was not on YouTube because I searched YouTube. The full movie was not on YouTube.
You would have to pay for it.
Oh.
You would have to pay for it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, all right. Carry on.
I literally had 20 minutes left of the movie and couldn't get this website to play the last 20 minutes.
That's frustrating.
So I finally found it that I could rent it, and I was like, F it, I'm renting it. So I rented it on like the Google Play Store for like $2.99, and I was so excited. It was a really good copy of it too. So, okay. I did not hate this movie.
Good, I'm glad.
I didn't hate it. It was charming in a way.
I stumbled upon this movie after I found that Rosemary's Baby movie. That's how I found this movie, because whoever uploaded both of these movies onto YouTube, like, had a bunch of other things, but whatever. You found it charming?
I did. I really wanted one of the little guys. Like, I wish that they
know.
I wish that they sold it as like a plush. That's something they need a Funko Pop for. The little bad guy, they're so cute. They remind me of like Ghoulies. Did you ever see Ghoulies?
No.
Oh my God. Or like, okay, really not obscene, obscure movie from the 80s. Did you ever see Munchies?
I have.
You
at
remember
some point in my life.
You remember the little guys from Munchies? Oh God, they were so cute. But these little guys were so cute. Okay, so anyway, couple buys a house. Mm-hmm. So excited. It's like a big house. It's a big deal. You know, it's like 70s little Holly homemaker, but she really wants to like have a career, but she can't. Yeah. You want to talk about feminism? I could go off on feminism in this movie. I really could. The husband's a dick.
He is a dick. I wrote that down too.
Such a dick. The wife finds this room that she wants to be like her quote unquote office. And in that room is a fireplace. The fireplace is completely boarded up.
Don't also forget her grandmother or
gave
her the house.
And with the house came like a handyman and things like that.
The handyman that they have, or the carpenter, or whatever he is also the person that worked with the grandmother.
Yes.
So he knows the house.
Yes. So the girl decides, Sally, that she wants to open up this fireplace. Sally. But in the very beginning of the movie, like the little people are talking and they're like, "Is she coming?" I was like, "Oh my God, this is so cute." It was very like hang on, side note again.
Go ahead.
So as I was watching this movie, I said to myself, "Oh my God, I should have made Justin watch Mr. Boogedy."
Mr. Boogedy?
Did you ever see Mr. Boogedy?
I've never seen Mr. Boogedy.
Mr. Boogedy was like a Disney Halloween special movie. No.
I'm rolling my eyes.
He is rolling his eyes. But I remember being a child, number one, being so scared of Mr. Boogedy because my mom used to come into our rooms when we were sleeping and be like, "Boogedy, boogedy, boogedy." And it was, I was like, oh my God. I wanted to text you and be like, "Can you please watch Mr. Boogedy just for shits and giggles?" But you would have been really mad at me. So Sally wants to open up this fireplace. The handyman is like, "Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. You just leave it."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I want to open." She was very Karen-ish. "I want to open the fireplace."
It's not a very feministic thing to say.
Okay, but let's face facts. She was.
Okay.
Okay. No, listen, feminism aside, if you buy an old creepy house and somebody that has worked in the house forever has been like, no, don't open the fireplace. Don't open the fireplace. Period.
But if it's your house, like, wouldn't you say why? Because someone said don't open the fireplace. Wouldn't you want to be like, why not?
I feel like she did ask why, and he kind of was like, well,
well, no, that's how it is, and you should leave it.
But no, the way that he said it, if you were a smart person, would lead you to believe that you should just leave the fireplace alone. Well, Sally didn't do that.
Did you just say I'm not a smart person?
I didn't. No, I meant Sally was not a smart
Okay.
person because she really wasn't. So the handyman leaves, and Sally decides that she's going to take a hammer and try to open up the fireplace after she is told that the bricks boarding up the fireplace are 3 deep. Now, when that part happened, I'm like, Sally, I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're going to do with that hammer right now? Well, what do you think you're going to do?
I'm not gonna lie. This warm is still good.
Oh, the peach? Yeah.
The peach Jim Beam and the unsweetened iced tea, without any ice, room temperature is still really good.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. So that kind of annoyed me.
Okay.
I even wrote down, I went, ugh, I'm annoyed by this woman and her stupid fireplace. But I loved the little minion voices. I loved how every time they spoke or popped up, there was like a green hue.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad you like that.
It was very like cheesy monster movie-esque, which I think is why I enjoyed it so much. It's a terrible movie. In the grand scheme of life, it is a terrible movie. But this goes back to what I said earlier, when sometimes there are shit movies that I become obsessed with. This, hands down, would be a movie that I would watch over and over again for no reason whatsoever.
I'm glad you liked it.
So the husband's a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick. What did you think of the little creature guys?
I loved them. They were so cute.
What did they look like?
They had like these, like, they were very little, and they had like these little cone heads, but like they were cone heads.
They looked like walnuts almost.
Yeah, like it was like bumpy.
Yeah.
But it almost reminded me of like Puppet Master.
It did remind me of Puppet Master.
You know, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, where's the little guy with the white face and the black hat? It was like total, like, it was, you know that they were actual puppets that they made this with. I want one.
They weren't puppets.
They weren't puppets?
No.
How the fuck did they do that? Oh, was it one of those, like, we're going to make everything bigger around you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there were scenes where the scale's all fucked up. Because there's a scene where they're trying to turn off the light in the bathroom with a coat hanger. They're trying to kind of turn off. They open the door, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, the proportions are nowhere near correct.
See, I thought that they were so adorable, it didn't even faze me.
Like, they're nowhere near correct. This door would be like 6 feet wide and like 5 feet tall. These proportions.
No, but it wasn't an actual door. No.
There's a scene where they.
I know what you're talking about, but it's not an actual door. It was like a not even like a normal closet.
But even
like
the size of the light switch in relation to the coat hanger that they had, this light switch would be like the size, like it would be 12 inches long. It doesn't make sense.
It's not the size of an actual door, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
but the proportions are. There are scenes where the proportions are still off.
I just couldn't get past the little people. Like I said, you know what? I'm gonna petition Funko to make a pop of it. They were so cute. I did not like the ending. The ending annoyed me. There's no closure.
There is no closure. They leave it open. So the little gremlin people, they want to be free somehow. But they don't really want to be free. They just want to hunt.
Right. Like they're not free at the end.
Yeah, they're not free. They just want to hunt. And it's not that they want to hunt. They want to find a specific person for some reason. They wanted Sarah.
Sally. Here thing.
They wanted Sally because she was related to the original owners. And this was specific.
And they said in the beginning of the movie that she was coming soon.
Set us free.
Yeah.
They knew that one of the relatives was in the house. At first they thought it was the husband because remember they said they were going to get her?
Yes.
They said just hurt her for now, we'll get the guy later. When they had the razor and
yes.
That was cool. That was creepy.
And it was right after Sally and him had a fight.
Yeah.
So it made it seem like they were going to go and slice the guy with the straight razor. But they didn't. So,
eventually, I don't know where they keep getting this rope from. That's one of the things that bothered me.
Yeah. These little people, they just have like a giant ass rope.
They drug Sally. they give her these sleeping pills, and they tie her up, and they drag her down the stairs and into the chimney, and it ends with
the chimney that she originally opened up,
because that's where they live. That's where they live.
Yes.
So when they get somebody, they eat the soul or the spirit, and then she will turn into one of them, and then the cycle continues where they have to go and get somebody else, eat their soul, and then reproduce.
But there's no real ending.
And they don't explicitly say that. I had to watch it twice to kind of put that together.
Like, the husband wasn't home, and he ends up coming home because he realizes that something's going on, or like the friend calls him or something and is like, something's really wrong with Sally, like it's this house, she's cracking up. So the husband rushes home. This is after like the friend had tripped on the rope and fallen down no, it wasn't her that fell down the stairs, it was the decorator that fell down the stairs, that tripped over the rope and fell down the stairs, right?
So they set up a tripwire with this rope, and they trip the decorator. Sally tries to grab the rope, but they yank it out of her hand and leave her with a rope burn.
Yeah. But like, Sally's just gone, and everyone's like, oh, and then the movie ends, like with the little people talking and like Sally talking, and I was just like, okay.
When Sally's talking, she's now one of them.
Yes. Well, I got that, but I was just still like, okay, I guess we're done. I was let down by the ending.
I can see that. I agree. I wish I knew more about the little gremlin people.
Me too. They were not featured enough. I mean, I would have a standalone movie all about them.
I agree. And I think that the film, I say it's a film, it's a fucking made-for-TV movie. It could have been shot more intelligently, because when they speak, you can see the mask move.
Oh, the little people?
You know what I mean? Yeah, the little people.
Well, yeah, you're right. It is a made-for-TV movie, though.
But, like, if they're going to speak, just don't have their mouths lit.
Don't have their mouths move.
Or, it's not, the mouths don't move, but you could see the mask moving over the guy's mouth.
Yeah.
I think they could have been more clever with that.
The little people made this movie.
They did, 100%.
The little minion.
They were super
people.
creepy. They were super creepy.
They weren't. I didn't think they were creepy. I thought they were fucking adorable.
They were creepy at first.
I could see how they would be creepy in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, I could see how in the 70s this movie would be terrifying.
Especially if it's a made-for-TV.
Yes. You know, like, we're so desensitized now that we, like, I legit was flat out laughing at points.
Yeah, I know.
But, no, I enjoyed it.
Good, I'm glad.
I enjoyed it just for, like, the cutesy cheesiness factor of it.
I think they remade it on Netflix.
They did remake it.
Did you watch the remake?
Because when I was looking for it, I did not, but when I was looking for it, I kept having the remake pop up. Mm-hmm. I did not watch it.
Me neither.
I don't know if I would, to be honest.
I don't think I would. I'm sure it's just garbage.
And I feel like that's something that in these days now they would completely 100%
they would destroy.
Add unnecessary gore to it.
They would destroy it. Not even gore, but so back then they had these weird masks, right? And I think the masks are what made these little gremlin guys cool.
2010. Katie Holmes was in it? No, that can't be right.
No. Wasn't she a Scientology slave?
Not in 2010.
No.
2010.
She was a Scientology slave?
No, she... Holy shit, fuck you. You know who wrote the screenplay? What's his face?
Oh, that guy?
I can't pronounce his first name. Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah. Wrote the screenplay for this.
In the 70s?
No, the new one, the remake.
Oh, that might be worth watching.
God. Huh. Interesting.
See, it depends how they handle the gremlin people, because if it's just like CGI and like they ruin the mystery of it, it's going to be trash. But if they do it intelligently, where there's still some mystery and it's kind of eerie, it would be. And
it looks like the story
would be a good movie.
It looks like the story is not 100% the same.
Is it just some random movie?
Oh, but wait, the little gremlin people are apparently puppets.
They're puppets.
Well, or they're made. Like, there's a photo on IMDb of somebody sculpting one of the faces.
It does look kind of cool.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, maybe we'll give you a chance.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Maybe we'll give you a chance. Nothing's gonna beat the other guys though.
No.
They're just so amazing. Seriously.
What did you give this?
I would probably give it an 8.
I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun movie to watch.
It was.
It was a fun. The husband was an asshole.
Yeah.
The wife is terrified at every corner, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. I have work to do.
I could see this being like if I had seen it when I was younger, one of those like, oh my God, it's Halloween season. We need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You know, not even because of the fact that it was scary, but just like, I don't know. I can't really like explain it, you know, but I could totally see it. You bumped the microphone again.
I keep fucking doing it.
I can totally see this being one of those movies that like
has a cult following,
or just like the cheesy like quintessential. Ooh, it's Halloween time.
Yeah, I gotta
Let's
watch.
pop some popcorn and sit down with the family on Saturday night. You know, like when we were kids, it was not that this movie was in any way, shape, or form scary. It wasn't, but it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Mm-hmm. The Worst Witch. You've probably have never seen.
I've never seen it.
Guy, Tim Curry. Oh my! No! You don't understand. You don't understand. Tim Curry is the Grand Wizard in this movie, and he sings this song, Anything Can Happen on Halloween. Mm-hmm. It's fucking amazing. I post it on Facebook every year on Halloween. I don't understand how you've never seen it. Like, I could sing it right now.
Please don't.
Anyway, this would be like the 70s version of The Worst Witch. You just, every Halloween it comes out, oh, let's get together and watch Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Would you recommend someone go out of their way to watch this?
It's very difficult to find. No, for most people, it's very difficult to find.
Fair enough.
Like, I gave you a much easier way to get to Helter Skelter. Oh my God, I had to download Kodi.
You can get any movie on Kodi.
You couldn't get this on Kodi. You couldn't get this. I looked it up.
I gave you the link.
You gave me
you just had to click
ass
through
fucking link.
an anime ass.
It was a shitty ass fucking link.
First day on the internet. And what did you have to do? You went through what? Google?
Yeah, I did. I found it on Google Play and I rented it. I wish I would have done that from the beginning.
Oh.
You're such a dick. Hashtag Justin's a dick.
There it is. I think this was my favorite movie out of the 4 made-for-TVs that we watched.
Yeah, I could say that too. I do love me some Helter Skelter, but I could say that as well.
I think this was an easier watch than Helter Skelter.
Okay. Well, but I feel like for you, Helter Skelter was just the length.
It was the length.
You know, like I feel like if Helter Skelter would have been like a 2.5 hour movie, you would have liked it much more.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
This was a fun movie, though.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Cool.
All right, kids.
So what do you want to do next time?
We had a discussion about...
Animated movies?
Animated?
What?
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 We never talked about animated movies. See, here's the problem. I'm going to tell you right now what the problem is, okay? I wouldn't mind branching out into some other areas. But Justin's like, but we're like horror movies. That's like our thing. And I'm like, okay. I do watch other types of movies, Justin.
Right.
Okay?
All right, let's leave it open for now.
Well, we discussed a couple different things. We discussed alien movies. We discussed shark movies.
Oh, we did talk about shark movies.
We did. Listen, there's nothing I love more than a cheesy fucking shark movie. You guys don't even understand. You really don't. Yeah.
You want to do shark movies next time?
I mean, we could totally do shark movies.
I could do shark movies.
And I promise I won't make you watch all 5 Sharknadoes.
I'm not watching 5 Sharknadoes in a row in your fucking minds. Do you remember? I think we spoke about 3.
You told
3.
me you already knew what your 3 would be and gave me 2. I would have to think a little bit about.
Okay.
Because it's like, do I want to go like semi-serious shark movie? Or do I want to be like cheesy shark movie? I feel like Justin's were all cheesy shark movie.
Besides Jaws, give me one serious shark movie.
Deep Blue Sea was not bad. And what's the one? I call it The Reef, but I don't think it's called The Reef. The one with Blake Lively. I'm gonna look it up right now. Blake Lively did a shark movie.
Okay.
When she was on that island, and The Shallows. The Shallows was not terrible. It wasn't terrible. But that's what I mean, though. Do we want to be like super cheesy shark movie? Like sci-fi shark movie?
I think if you're going to do shark movie, you got to do super cheesy.
I can totally give you super cheesy. Like, I'm sorry, have you ever seen Santa Jaws?
No.
If I can find you a copy of Santa Jaws, that's totally on my list. 2 summers ago, before the last Sharknado movie, Sci-Fi ran like a week-long marathon of shark movies. Mm-hmm. And I was upstate at my cousin's lake house, and me and my nieces and nephews literally watched every single one. And we all agreed that Santa Jaws was the best movie of the bunch. We watched it, I think it played like at least 6 times when we were up there. We watched it every time it was on. My niece Olivia's like, is Santa Jaws on yet? I'm like, not yet. So good. So, okay, shark movies. Cheesy
Shark movies.
Like cheesy sci-fi shark movies.
Sweet.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so that is our episode for today. Mm-hmm. Peace out, A Perfect Mess. I'm Theresa.
I'm Justin. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Is that what you do? Follow on Twitter?
You follow on Twitter.
See,
and like, listen, if you guys listen, when you listen to the show.
What's our name on Facebook and Twitter?
On Twitter, we are at A Perfect Mess 1. On Facebook, we are A Perfect Mess. When you type in A Perfect Mess, you'll see us pop up. Whatever avenue you listen to us on, leave us a star rating, a comment, something.
Hopefully a good one.
Well, yeah. And reach out and let us know what you
movies,
like,
what
you
movies
don't
do you want us to watch?
What movies we can watch.
Do you agree with our ratings? What would you rate these movies? Mm. If you disagree, well, too bad.
Well, people are going to disagree.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Until then.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
We'll see you next time. Well, we won't see you. I keep saying that.
Whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Goodbye.